All right, we're here. Lucas Giolito of the Chicago White Sox, the up-and-coming Chicago White Sox. We're excited to see where this sort of goes for you guys during the 2019 season. Where do you see yourself factoring in there? Because there's a lot of hype surrounding this team with or without Manny Machado. First, let's start there.
Okay.
When you heard that news, Manny Machado's not coming to the south side of Chicago, was it kind of just like, all right, fuck it, like if we don't need him, or we're on the path regardless?
Yeah, that was pretty much the sentiment throughout the clubhouse. The news broke when we were out on the field. Nobody knew about it. Could see some of the front office people running around. The media was starting to get a little excited. But when I got back in, I was like, oh damn, he got paid.
Yeah.
All right.
Holla, bet it up, son.
Yeah, he got paid. So it is what it is. He's down in San Diego. Not really a worry. No one's as players, like, that's not really our business. You know? So we're just doing our thing. Spring training's just getting started. Some guys are new. We're trying to get to know them. They're trying to get to know us. We're trying to like get that core what's the word, culture going in the clubhouse.
For sure.
So it's not really an issue. Not something we're worried about.
What's that anticipation like, though? The idea, and not just Manny specifically, player X free agent type. Because I was in Oakland, and rumor had it that the big unit, old Randy Johnson, big guy, wanted to shut things down in the Bay Area. Wanted his swan song to be in the Bay Area. That meant Oakland. That meant San Francisco. I'm a watch guy. Randy Johnson's a watch guy. I wore number 51. I knew he'd be wanting number 51. So I had already had the fucking Hublot picked out. Like, it's a done deal. Come on, Randy. Come on.
Yeah.
And obviously he lands in San Francisco. I don't get my fucking watch.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, the anticipation for me as a young dude, like, oh my God, could I really have... So what's the anticipation like for a player? Obviously, like you said, you guys are looking to create that culture, but you're like, oh, we could get a guy, we could get a dude. Shit, that could be fun.
Pretty spot on. It's pretty much how I was, especially starting pitcher.
Right.
So I'm not a third baseman. So I'm not like, oh man, if Manny comes over here, we might have to play a little second or short or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm starting pitcher. So if I'm staying on the mound, I look back and I got Manny Machado at third base. That's great.
All good.
That's great. But at the same time, not really something I worry about because I don't have any control over that.
Right.
So it would have been great. It would have been cool. But, it is what it is. We move on, and we got a bunch of great guys, and we just got to mesh together.
No doubt.
I want to get into how petty you are. I don't know if you're petty at all, but so you were at the time projected to be a 1-1. And there were some teams that were like, I don't know, because you had the UCL thing, ended up getting TJ, like 3 months after the draft. Do you have a mental list of all the teams that passed on you before 16?
Fuck you. Fuck you.
No, It was tough. I mean, basically the story behind that was I was throwing really, really well my senior year of high school, preseason up into the beginning of the season. The game before I hurt my elbow, I threw a one-hitter. I was like up to 100 miles an hour, camping at like 96, 97. Going.
In high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been sick that day.
Yeah, you can't even smell shit like that.
And I don't know what was going on, but that's kind of how the flow I was in, I guess you could say. And so I had all the confidence in the world. I mean, I was pitching as confident as ever. And then our first league game, arm goes, not fully, but the UCL tore a little bit enough that I was done for the year. At that point, I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought I would fall out of the first round. I'd probably have to end up going to school. But at the end of the day, the Nationals, they had Strasburg, they had Zimmerman, they had guys that...
You're familiar.
Yeah, they were familiar with guys having the surgery, having success after the surgery. It's not as big of a stigma and problem as it used to be. So they ended up taking me. I had no idea. So the way, especially, I was the first year, I guess that's one thing I'd be petty about, first year of the CBA in 2012 that basically screws over amateur players a little bit.
Right.
So
slot money.
As far as like teams passing me up, not really something I worry about because I was hurt.
Yeah.
I really was.
But it's almost like it's the same thing as like a Shohei Ohtani. Like it's like, all right, we might have 1 year. Well, let's chalk that 1 year up as a loss, but service time wise, you're banking on 5 years of a healthy Giolito.
Yeah, that's basically what the Nationals, their thought process was when they picked me. We're going to take the best talent available, whether he's hurt or not. And I end up actually being hurt. I tried to rehab it, tried to come back, PRP injections and whatnot, but my first professional start, I remember it might have been like the 8th or 9th pitch of the inning. I had gotten like a ground out, and then the next guy got a first pitch strike. I was like, well, I'm going to try and turn this one up, throw a heater under his hands, 0-1. And that's when I heard it and everything. Yeah. I threw the pitch. I heard it pop. I was like, all right, that's it.
Have you ever heard that, Jared?
No, I've never heard the
the sound.
No,
It is you will never forget it.
Yeah.
You will never forget it. I was actually watching Jared Parker. I don't know if you're familiar with who that guy is. He was with the A's for a while. He's got actually a training facility, taking care of shit like this. But I listened. I was watching his live work, and the third pitch he threw, it blew, and I was almost sick to my own stomach, listening and hearing it. It is such a gross thing. I want to ask you something, because we're talking about pettiness. I want to get into motivation type shit.
Yeah.
From Southern California, Westlake area, Santa Monica, hotbed for talent. Christian Yelich. You talk about a guy that you mentioned, Max Fried, lefty with the Hotlanta Bravos. What is it like having a dude like that? Because he gets asked this question, I'm sure. What's it like having a dude like Giolito?
Yeah.
That friendly competition driving you, because you know what the brass ring is, pro ball, trying to get paid. Is there any sort of motivation in there that you were kind of able to draw on between each other?
You can throw Jack Flaherty in that mix too. He went to my high school, and he was 3rd or 4th in Rookie of the Year last year voting. Our high school,
that's insane.
Yeah, it was basically, it still is, run like a college program.
Sure.
Our practices were like 3.5 hours long. We basically, as players, motivated the shit out of each other. Our pitching coach motivated the shit out of us. Ethan Katz, I got to shout him out. He's now assistant pitching coordinator with the San Francisco Giants.
Nice.
I'm actually going to have dinner with him later tonight.
Okay.
We had a lot of talent, and it was basically just, let's see how good we can be. And we all had different things we were good at, and we were trying to learn from each other the entire time. I get Max, how consistent his curveball was. Me, I was throwing really hard. Jack, he was 2 years younger than us when we were seniors, but he was super athletic. He was able to be one of the best shortstops I've ever seen, and then just take it right onto the mound and figure it out.
Weird, he's an athlete and a pitcher. That's odd.
So it was a really fun time, and it still sucks I got hurt that senior year, because we could have done some special things. But it was like 2 years later, Jack led them to be #1 team in the country. So it was a really, really good experience for like just growing and developing as a baseball player.
That's an awesome time to be a guy too.
Is there like a fraternity with the California guys? Because I feel like the Florida guys are more competitive. Like if you come out of Florida, it's like I want to be better than that guy. But I feel like the Cali guys are more like there's more this brotherhood sense with it.
There's like especially Southern California. It's like that vibe that like,
Cowboy, nor Cowboy. So there's a difference. Like and you can attest to this. Like we're two different fucking nations.
Yeah, it's very, very different.
We're two different worlds.
Yeah, super chill, super laid back, kind of like a quiet confidence, I guess you could say, that a lot of Southern California players share. And I can go into a clubhouse a lot of the time and meet a guy and get to know him over the first like 2 days of spring training and be like, oh, I know this guy's from the LA area or like from Southern California. It's like you kind of just have a feeling.
You got him pegged, you know for sure.
He literally never shuts up about his Stockton roots.
I talk about California. I explain to people.
No.
Northern California, Stockton. I say this. I don't
Yo,
know
Gio, we were in an In-N-Out Burger yesterday or the day before, and someone just started talking to him about where he's from. He has his area code tattooed. It's the most hard-out move of all time. He has his area code is tattooed on his ribs, and he'll just lift his shirt up in public.
Yes, I showed him.
So here you go.
Yeah, can't just be like, no, I'm from Stockton. It's like, oh no, check out my
he's like,
ab
oh, you're from
tat.
Stockton? And I was like, yeah, and I showed him the area code, and he knows.
No, I think he would have believed you. He would have believed you.
My wife is in veterinary school in Davis, up near Sacramento. So last offseason, I was up and down a lot.
She an Aggie? Davis Aggies?
Well, for her veterinary school, but
sure.
she
probably way smarter than Davis.
Yeah, so basically I would drive through Stockton all the time. I stopped at the In-N-Out in Stockton maybe once or twice on one of my 6-hour drives. So I'm pretty familiar.
Fun fact, that motel
Yes.
is where I lived.
What?
Yeah.
Where
Wrap
you
your head
lived.
around that. Where I lived.
What were you doing at the time?
Living
Playing?
life. Hey, not all of us had the fucking Golden Road. All right? All right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Dallas
actually
was drafted
lived
in a
that
round
motel.
that they don't even have anymore. So that's
Wow.
he's
Yeah,
the
that was
come up
47th
story.
round draft pick.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
somebody lost a bet and we're like, fuck, we'll take this.
Yeah, he got drafted in the Piazza round. I didn't plan on asking you this question, but after seeing you, I have to ask the question.
Yeah.
What kind of hair product do you use?
Oh, okay.
He's making a hard push, as you can see.
Yeah,
Hard push.
I'm new to the. I used to just get like a one, like straight across. Like I'm growing it
wow.
out now. So
Okay.
like I've been trying out different products, and I haven't found my wheelhouse yet.
I'm not using it right now because I used what we had in the clubhouse. My favorite's Lay Right, either the pomade or like the other
Pomade?
one. I don't know.
Like the fiber.
It kind of is. So like American Crew's a pretty decent brand. You can get that anywhere.
Yeah.
No free ads.
The stuff my bad. The stuff I use, I get off Amazon. And you have to blow dry your hair if you want it to like
I don't even know
work
what a blow dryer
properly.
yet.
Oh, I am here for the rocket in the mirror, just looking to fucking get that coif just right.
Step one is buy a blow dryer.
I didn't know shit about doing hair or anything like
and
that.
This looks great.
Thank you. Until James Shields taught me last year.
Oh,
yes.
James.
Wago G.
Wago.
Yes,
Yeah.
Wago
G.
G knows what's popping.
Yeah, one of my favorite veteran guys of all time.
Quality American.
Very quality guy.
Yes.
And he was like, Gio, you got to start doing something with this.
Need some help.
And so I was like, all right, what do you got for me? Because he would be in the bathroom after games all the time, like doing a whole thing. He had like 6 different serums. I don't know what was going on.
Dolling it up.
And so he taught me all about like the circle brush and do this and do that. And I'm like, all right, there you go.
So you're working
Yes!
with. I feel like this is a lot. This is like a layered process that you're working with.
Yeah, I don't do the full process. I've kind of realized that if I just blow dry my hair so it's kind of like just sticking up, then you're good. All you have to do is use a little product, use your hands, and you're fine. Okay. So that's what works for me.
All right, we're gonna have to do a game this season where I come to the G spot, which is what we're calling it now. And maybe you can give me a hair tutorial because by then I should have enough.
You should,
hair.
Yeah,
I should have
absolutely.
enough hair by then. This is like 2 months.
Taper the back and fade up the sides and just keep letting it grow on top.
All right,
just
so that's
keep letting
the
it ride.
plan. A YouTube video with Gio where we're doing hair tutorials.
Oh, perfect. We're gonna have to fly Wago out for that.
Yes, yeah, we're
love
gonna need some help. One thing we've been talking to guys about, obviously, you guys hear about the rule changes and shit like that. So we want to have a little fun, play a little fuck, marry, kill. Fuck, marry, kill, the universal DH, the 3-batter minimum that you must face 3, the pitch clock.
You probably use the pitch clock in the minors, right?
You've dealt with the pitch clock in
Yeah.
the minors.
Yeah.
What was your experience before you answer that question? We have some fun. What was your experience with that?
With the pitch clock?
Yes.
I got hit with it maybe once or twice, but it was kind of like at the discretion of the umpire. It seemed like a lot of the time it would be running out and I'd be standing there and the guy wouldn't be in the box yet. And I'm saying like, what the hell? And then the guy gets in the box and it's fine. And I'm not going to like be that douchebag stepping off the mound and be like, hey man, he didn't get in the box on time.
Right.
I'll just, if I have to, I'll run one under his hands or something like that. But I got hit with it like once or twice. It doesn't make that much of a difference. I mean, in a big situation it can.
Sure.
And actually in AA in 15 or 16, it happened to Ronaldo, my teammate, another starting pitcher. It was like bases loaded and it was like a 2-1 count or something.
No.
And the umpire pitch clocked him, so then it was like 3-1.
No.
Or it might have been like it might have even been worse. I don't know. It's like you play so many games to kind of blend together, especially in the minor leagues. But
I'm absolutely fighting that umpire after.
Yeah.
it was rough. We were losing it because they just let it slide all the time. It's just kind of this running thing in the background, and then it's like when they decide they want to pay attention to the pitch clock. Yeah, that was a tough time to do it. But like you go 1-0 on a guy or whatever in the 4th inning, and there's nobody on base. whatever.
That
But
would, I mean,
No, I would lose my shit.
you would be the worst person ever to have an
I would lose
actual
my shit.
pitch
Well,
clock.
I was a quick worker. Like my mantra was,
Yeah.
I'm either going to shove it up your ass quickly or you're going to kick my ass quickly.
Yeah.
But we're going to do this in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah, if you work quick, then it's never an issue. I got to the point because they implemented it in AA in like 15 or 16 where I wasn't looking at it or worrying about it anymore. It was like the first 2 games I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, and then you realize that if you just stay at like a normal good pace, then it doesn't affect anything.
Yeah, and I think it's comical how we're worried about a fucking pitch clock, but how many times have you found yourself out on the mound, ready to roll, and you got homeboy behind the dish giving you this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they don't even enforce the get in the box rule anymore.
Well,
They're so
all
focused
about
on the
it's all
pitchers.
about, like you heard it. It's all about picking your spots. Like when are you going to enforce it? So when it's 2-1 bags juiced late in the ball game, and you decide to check in and be an umpire
Yeah.
and start enforcing this asshole clock, well now guys have problems.
Yeah, it's
Right.
weird. It's like they're asking umpires to like add another thing for them to worry
They
about.
got a
and
lot on their
it's-
plate, especially in the
Yeah,
muscle leagues. Two of them.
it's for real. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't think it really shaves much time. I don't know. It's
Yeah, tired. All right. So,
So
universal DH. What do you got? Fuck, marry, kill. Universal DH. Pitch clock. 3 batter minimum.
3 batter minimum. Which one's that?
That means that when we bring a reliever
Oh,
in,
he
this
has
guy
to face
three.
Oh,
three,
man.
3 hitters. There are caveats to that, and we can get into that.
Yeah.
But we want your answers.
All right. Universal DH. So get rid of that one because
Really?
I want to hit.
Ah.
So,
okay,
all right, yeah, okay.
Selfish.
I still have a
Okay.
home run I need to hit.
Yeah.
I have a bet going with a buddy from many years ago. I probably have to pay him out on that soon
But
because
is he
I
a player?
face-
Is he a player?
yeah,
Okay.
I face major league pitching now for parts of 2 years, and it's
It's not.
it's
not
difficult.
I had a.
I thought I was just gonna like walk up there and take a hard swing and hit a homer at some point, but
So-
it's gonna take a lot of work. And
It took Big Bart like 40 years.
It took him a while. I had Matt Holliday. I was when Matty was with us, and Bobby Crosby, and I mean I'm excited about getting to hit. I'm facing Kershaw, and I'm talking shit. $1,000. I take him deep. $1,000. Who's on that
Yeah.
bet? And Holliday's like 20 to 1.
never a
And-
good
And
idea.
Crosby in the shower is like double that. And I'm like, zero faith. Obviously, I was barking up the wrong tree, but I get into the box and I'm just like, this is not. I got no zero. Why didn't I even bring a bat? I got no hope.
That's kind of how I felt facing Carlos Martinez's slider last year, and it was really really gross. I was like, how do guys like?
Well, now you know how it feels.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like the picking and choosing of pitches and what zone you're looking for. It's a lot that goes into hitting. Not to mention that you have like less than half a second to decide. And then I gave up a home run to him. So
Oh, no.
yeah, it was like one of my better starts of the year that just got ruined by a pitcher home run. But
Yeah. Did you still get the dub?
no, I might have gone a no decision, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, I was pitching really well that game. That was fun. It teaches you lessons. You learn from everything. Don't think just because a pitcher's
you have like a
mean.
different approach when you're facing a pitcher? Do you think you're kind of like, all right, I can pass by this guy a little bit. I can ease up a little bit.
So the times the times I've done that, I've been burned.
Yeah.
In the sense of I'm not. It's like you kind of turn off that level of focus in your brain.
Yeah.
Yes, you can ease up that you don't have to like try and like throw nasty ass shit.
Yeah.
But you still want to hit spots and make your pitches.
Right.
And the times when you like just let that little part of your brain turn off, where you turn off that like competitive edge, and you're not doing the same thing that you do to every single other guy in the lineup.
Yep.
That's when you're gonna get burned. That's when you throw like 90 and it's flat and it's right up there, and I can hit that.
Yeah.
I have hit that before, so. Yeah, you gotta
That's no
just
good.
make sure you stay on that same path of the rhythm and flow of what you're doing.
I'm just surprised that you actually want it. Like, there has never been a worse time to be a hitter, and you want to do that. Why?
It's just for fun, changes things
There's
up.
nothing fun
I
about
love,
seeing 98 with movement on the black.
I love the NL games.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool.
I love to hear that. I
Yeah.
love to hear that, especially from a younger cat. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, because that tells me that you have the appreciation of the game of baseball.
Yeah.
You're not just a pitcher. You're an athlete.
Yeah,
You like to be involved.
Yeah, that's like kind of a selfish side of me. I mean,
You're a ball player.
Yeah, at the same time, so universal DH, possibly more jobs for guys, which is a great thing. So
and extending careers.
Yeah, extending careers, and yeah, exactly. So I can see it from that side 100%. It's just I'm a pitcher and I want to get some ABs.
So you're killing the universal DH, dying a slow death.
Damn. That's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It's usually, did you grow up an NL fan or an AL fan?
I was more of like a player fan, especially in postseason.
Who was your guy?
I really, really liked Verlander. And then to like kind of go back in history a little bit, Bob Gibson.
Yeah.
With the Cardinals.
Sure.
And I'm jealous of Jack because Jack gets to like talk to him all the time because he's a Cardinal. But that's my guy. I've like read books on him and stuff like that. He was so nasty they had to change the game.
Right, and
So-
they're trying to revisit that right now.
Do they want to make the mound even lower?
Yeah, they want to lower it. They want to lower it and push it back. I said, Bob Gibbs, the guy's going to be throwing uphill. You do it any worse? Like, how about you just start to use the other
They
side
didn't
of the
mention
field?
moving it back, did they?
Yeah, they've mentioned
What?
potentially moving it back as well.
They can't do that.
Like, this was something that I said.
that would
like,
actually hurt guys.
As a guy who threw like just 79 on a great day with a stiff wind behind him, I was a big fan of like, dude, why can't we start moving this shit around like the dimensions in the outfield? Like, I would love for hitters to be like looking at this kid. Oh, fuck, Oakland. The mound's 58 feet in Oakland. Like, even Braden's throwing 93.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. That's going to be shitty.
Like different stadiums just
Right.
wacky.
So take it to America Park, or like when Verlander was with Detroit, or go to Houston now. Minute Maid, yeah, they got great starters, but it's 63 feet out there. Like, fuck, I'll stare you down, JV. Like that could be a different. I don't know. That could be a thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, there would be injuries across the board if one night you're pitching from 58 and then the next you're pitching from 63. Dudes would be blowing out
Well,
there.
we're gonna be here for 4 days. Make an adjustment.
Yeah, I guess so. What's your take on sort of not necessarily is it safe to call it an epidemic of Tommy John surgeries in baseball? What's your take on that? Like why do you think that's happening? How do you think they prevent it moving forward? And do you think that because it is you're more at risk, the harder you throw, the more at risk you are. And we're seeing fastball velocities that are harder now than ever. Do you think it's just inevitable?
To a certain extent, yes.
Yeah.
I think that on the amateur side, a lot of things could be done better. And the number one thing in my mind is the specialization in baseball. From an early age, I think is complete bullshit. And I'm saying that as a guy that did that too.
Really?
Soon as I hit 14 years old.
Ears.
Yeah, as soon as I hit 14 years old, I got to my high school and you're on the baseball team, and if you want to go play basketball or football, you're missing out on quality, preseason training, and it's going to be harder for you to, find a place on the team, whatever it may be. And so also,
see me, coach?
Yeah. So now at 24 years old and a professional athlete playing baseball, pitcher, I wish looking back when I was in high school, damn, I wish I played basketball. Damn, I wish I played, football or soccer or whatever, just for more athletic development at that age. To be a more complete athlete.
And that was gonna be my next question: is do you look around maybe and see some guys who are in the same position as you, and then see some other guys who did play multiple sports or whatever, and think, wow, their athleticism, I can see sometimes how it helps them correct themselves on the mound, because you have found out, I'm sure, very quickly, the minute you enter pro ball and even beyond the higher amateur ranks, your responsibility is now to become your own best pitching coach. Because
Absolutely.
they can't hold your hand out there.
Oh, yeah.
And you know that you have to make an adjustment from pitch to pitch. How do you learn that? By learning your body.
Exactly.
Having body control, understanding I can succeed here, I'm failing here, and making that adjustment. Does that thought creep into your head when you say, you know what, maybe if I could, I don't know, if I was a fucking pole vaulter, I'd be able to fix this front side flying a little quicker, whatever it may be.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like as soon as I got into pro ball, I was like, I was playing catch up of, I'm going into the off season. Yeah, I'm going in the off season now. I'm doing all this stuff, all these agility drills and mobility, body movement, correctives to try and get there. Whereas we have guys on the team that were basketball players, football players, and just their body awareness is at a higher level because they've been playing all these sports. They've been athletic. It's like moving through the year playing a completely different sports that require completely different muscle components, movements, all that stuff. Whereas I played a bunch of sports growing up, but as soon as I hit high school, and that's like when it's most important, that's when it was baseball all year, throwing all year. And so...
Did you experience that burnout? Was there a point in time where somebody had to either pull you back in or push you into it, however you want to look at that? Hey, remember you like baseball, but you were battling like, fuck, I don't know if I do, man. I've been doing this for 3 straight years.
Yeah, I never had the mental burnout on baseball because I was so focused and driven on like becoming the best I could be as a pitcher. Like I knew when I was 14 and I was throwing really hard, but I had no idea where it was going, that I had the ability to probably be the best pitcher in the country by the time I was 17, 18.
Right.
So that's kind of what drove me. And, thankfully Ethan, who I mentioned before, my pitching coach in high school, came aboard and we just streamlined everything and worked super hard to get to that point. And then unfortunately arm went. And could that be because I was throwing so much, throwing so hard at a young age? You don't know, but
no, that's very true. When does the moment that's because that's very interesting to hear. Like I knew at a point in time, like it's almost like you have that conversation with yourself. Did you just wake up with fucking 95 in the pocket and start blowing away high school nerds doing laps, or like what was that moment when you were like, yeah, when you realized if I stay on this path and I continue this trajectory, I could be a guy, a 1-1. I can be that dude. What happened? Was it playing catch in the backyard? You fucking blew your dad's neck up because he just couldn't even get to it. Like what happened?
I always threw hard. There was 2 moments. I was 14. It was after my freshman year. I'm like younger for my grade, so it was after my freshman year of high school. I was still 14. It was in the summer, and I played in this like local small showcase thing, and I hit 90. So I hit 90 as a 14-year-old. It was close to my 15th birthday. And that's when I was like, okay, like my arm's there.
Yep.
And then
this is real.
We're doing this.
And then my sophomore year was rough. You could actually compare my sophomore year of high school to my season with the White Sox last year. Is pretty similar numbers, a lot of walks and just getting myself into a ton of trouble. But basically, I didn't really know where I was throwing hard, but I was throwing in the dirt. It was going on backside. I was running up the backside. Catchers hated me. And I didn't perform well. It was tough because I knew how talented I was. But then it was the very end of the year, my sophomore year, we're facing Crespi, which was like our rival, and they had a really, really good team. And our team was like okay. And I had it was like one of the last league games of the year. It's like if we won the game, we were going to the playoffs. If we lost the game, we weren't going to the playoffs. And I threw a complete game shutout.
There you go.
And that's when it was like, oh, like that's how like there's the connection.
That's who I am.
Yeah. So I was just pounding the zone the whole time. I was like, oh, okay, there it is. And then from there, it just got better and better. So
what would you say is the best game that you've ever pitched in your life at any level? Like, did you ever? I mean, if you were throwing 90 at 14, did you have a game where you just struck out literally everybody?
The most dominant like performance
in your life,
probably the game before I hurt my arm. I think it was against El Camino High School, and I was like no hitter and going into high school game 7 innings, going to the last inning, and the only reason I gave a base hit was because I threw a changeup.
Sped them up.
Yeah, I threw they were all behind on heaters, and I wanted to like show the scouts
Getting
back there.
cute.
Oh, like,
sure, I got this too.
Yeah.
And so I threw the change up, and the guy hit a single. But other than that, I was like pretty much in control of the game the entire time.
Yeah.
One of my favorite games I've thrown was in the minor leagues. Was my no hitter. Again, 7 innings, because in the minor leagues when you have a double header, so it was a 7-inning no hitter.
Still counts.
Yeah,
it does.
It was a weird game. I only struck out like 2 or 3 guys. They were just like hitting grounders,
Using
like
the defense.
Yeah,
were
absolutely.
efficient in your
Yeah,
work.
yeah, super efficient until like the last inning. I think I walked like 2 guys in the 7th because I was like getting antsy.
Sure.
But I mean, you threw a perfect game, so it was like
There's also a no-hitter too, but
yeah, but so you know even more what that feeling's like, especially the big league level 9 innings. But that was fun because it was against the Nationals AAA affiliate, the team that traded me. So I was
There
facing
you
a
go.
bunch of guys I knew
Yeah,
and a
you
bunch
know
of the
these
coaches.
dudes,
So
organization.
yeah, it was cool. That was a lot of
Boy.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have this, but you play in.
well, so let's talk about that then. You go from the Nationals organization to the White Sox organization. Those are two completely different markets. I guess it's sort of a two-part question. When you're with the Nationals, what is it like to play for a team where you know that they have the financial freedom to go out there and be like, hey, here's 10 years, $300 million as an offer to Bryce Harper, and then you go to the White Sox and you're a key piece in this rebuild here where there's other guys around. Like, is there an excitement to being a big part of that?
Absolutely. It's very different. My time with the Nationals, awesome through the minor leagues, and then I struggled at the big league level, and it was 2016. It seemed like me and Lopi, Ronaldo, were like kind of flip flopping on starts. We would like see each other out the door all the time, and it was like kind of hard to get a groove. And I was 21, and I was trying to figure it out in the big leagues. But you could see in that clubhouse, like, you know, we got to win. We want to win. This is, you know, we're here to win. Whereas I came over here and we're at that level now where it's time for guys to show up and play and time to put it together and win games. But the past couple years have been more
Getting your feet wet.
Yeah, you know, learn, develop, like take it all in. And I'm super fortunate to be in that situation as, you know, a younger guy, starting pitcher who's trying to get as much experience as I can to learn and grow.
Is it easier knowing that there are other guys around you doing the same thing versus if you had been with Washington? It's like, we got to win right now.
Yeah,
you're still getting your feet wet.
Well, that was the thing. They were like, we got to win right now, and I didn't figure it out quick. I was out. You know, so you know, other things factor into that, the trade and everything. But you know, I understand it. That's how it is. So now we're starting to come over into that side as the White Sox.
Expectations are there.
Yeah, and it's an exciting time because a good amount of us, myself super included in this, did not perform up to our expectations last year. A lot of the younger guys, core group of younger guys, we did not perform to how we want to perform last year. So now it's time for us to let the talent show. You know, just leave it all out there and do as well as we can.
What are a couple of things that you've identified? Because you alluded to it, getting yourself in a little bit of trouble. The numbers reflect that. What have you identified as far as, you know what, man? I got a couple of things I absolutely need to clean the fuck up.
Yeah.
And this is what my focus is. Not only heading into this season, I'm sure you had things heading into the season that you had on your docket that you wanted to pay attention to. Has anything surfaced between the off season and to where we're at now where you're like, you know what? These are things that I've got to do better. Gio, these are the things that I'm nailing.
Number one, mental side, breathing on the mound while pitching. Got to do a much better job of that, especially when stuff's starting to go.
Slow it down.
You know how fast it gets.
Slow it down.
Yeah.
Step off. This is what I say.
Yeah.
Man. Step off and get some grass on your cleats.
Exactly. So basically my season was either a quality start and a good start, some starts where I'd fight through but it would end up being good, or like kind of a dominant one, and then like a handful of just blow up, just disasters. And basically the name of the game is get rid of those, be a consistent starting pitcher, and I'm going to be just fine.
Right.
So to do that, control the pace of the game. Don't let the pace of the game control me. Yeah, I'm holding the ball. I start the play. So do a better job of taking my time, breathing, and you know, this is stuff I would talk to Shields about all the time last year. Yeah, just because he does a really good job of it.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much it. Control the game. And take your time and be committed to each pitch. Don't dwell on what's going on behind you, what happened the last two batters. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, that's pretty much numero uno there.
And what's interesting to take away from this, Jared, I don't know if you really think about it, mental.
Mm-hmm.
Mental.
Yeah, I did.
The physical execution will be there. You have the tools; those are in place.
Yeah,
it's just about ironing out those mental kinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the off season was huge for me on the mental side. Did neurofeedback.
Nice.
Yeah. So they hook you up and you do like focus exercises. You do a closed eye thing. I did a bunch of sessions. I marathon sessions of that right before I came out to spring, and it was amazing. So mentally, I'm feeling really awesome. Great. Did introduce some new things in the off season, a little bit of weighted ball stuff. Not like,
so you a driveline guy?
Somewhat, not like the full on driveline program. We kind of adaptations. So it was me and Ethan. We kind of created our own thing that works for me. I kind of use it as a warm up, weighted ball warm up before I go and play catch. And it shortened my arm action like without me even thinking about it. So my arm action used to be like stab behind and then come back up, and I was late. Now my arm action's like out and quick up, so it's a more room for error. You know, if my body's a little bit out in front, well, at least my arm's catching up. The misses are going to be smaller. So that kind of happened naturally. And yeah, so just another big thing, developing a very, very secure routine that I trust and that I love and that I'm going to do every single day. You know, last year, the year before, it was kind of feeling out, all right, what do I like? What do I not like? Changing things up all the time. Now it's like boom, boom, boom. I have it all written out. If I need to change something, I'm in my notebook. It's all there. So
everything's documented. Day game, night game. You understand how things go. Recovery.
Absolutely.
That's really cool to hear, man, because like I feel, and Jared can attest to this, I've been a huge fan of yours since you showed up.
It's almost an obsession.
And Karab's is like, what the fuck is, I mean, not like you're nobody that we don't know about, but I've just been like, man, this has been a dude I've watched from afar, and like you are, man, you're somebody who I really, really, really pull for. I want you to put it together, and listening to you talk about having identified some of the things that you feel like can help you do that. I'm fucking pumped right now listening to you talk. I can't fucking wait to see you on the fucking bump.
Yeah, I can't wait either, man. This is a year where, you know, not just me, a bunch of other guys in the clubhouse. It's time for us to figure it out and put it together.
Yeah. Shit or get off the pot. Let's fucking go.
Exactly. So I'm excited. This off season, I got married too. So it was like,
congratulations on the sex, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm having a child.
Yeah.
I've had sex twice.
Go.
I've got another kid.
Yeah. I'll wait like 5 years for that one. We got a dog. That's enough.
What kind of dog? You a dog guy? What kind of dog?
He's a mutt. He's like. You
adopt, don't shop?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll never ever buy a dog. My wife's in veterinary school, so that's completely off the table.
You know what's up.
Yeah, he's like if you take like a normal size mutt, you know, a little bit of like golden retriever, like lab, and he's got like pointy ears, curly tail in the back.
Oh, sure.
But then you just shrink ram, so he has these long, super skinny legs.
But he's just a little fella.
Yeah, he's 22 pounds, and he's
wow. What's his name?
Louis.
Yeah. After anybody or just?
No, we just kind of came up with it. I don't know how it happened.
That works.
But yeah.
All right.
I don't hate that at all. What's your relationship like with Yohan Moncada?
Yo, he's great.
Well, if it's a good relationship, then I need you to do me a favor. You guys need to have an intervention for him for his Instagram. He takes way too many selfies. It is,
that's kind of like
problem.
That's kind of like the culture, though.
Yeah,
like
his selfie game is
strong.
Too strong. It's too strong. We need to have an intervention. Be like, hey, listen, man. Like, we know what you look like. We can dial it back just a little bit.
So we could have an intervention with him. We could sit on the couch and say all the things you're saying.
He'll be taking selfies while
it's
you're
gonna
doing
go
it.
through. Yeah, honestly, it's going through this year and right out the other. Yo does what he wants, especially when it comes to social media and stuff. So
love it. Let the man go. Before we let you go, we ask everybody that we have on the podcast. Actually, hold that thought. We've got 2 questions to ask you. Jared, if you'd like to handle that, I'm gonna go get.
Oh yeah.
We got something we got to do. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Okay, what do we got? Yeah. Do I hang out here? Or?
Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay.
You're right there. Yeah. No, I'm looking for the photo.
Is it under the poster?
Yep, got it. Got it here.
Just asking if you do or don't know this person.
very simple.
Yeah.
It could be a one-word answer if you're kind of perplexed, which we expect.
Okay.
We understand.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this man? And do you know who this man is?
It's coming out of his mouth.
That's gum.
That's
Okay,
gum.
it's gum.
Gum, yeah.
That is an actual live national television broadcast. That was happening on national television.
Yeah.
So you can already, I'm sure you're already drawing.
So I see a
conclusions.
little Sox logo in the background. Man, I honestly, I don't know. I don't know anything about this at
Oh,
all.
damn.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's, It's just that's unfortunate that you just don't know.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Nope. And I'd venture to guess, even if we had a name written on there, you probably wouldn't know who it was anyway.
No, not at all.
Yeah. But well, that answered that question.
Well, do I get to find out, or is it?
It's
That's
really
not important. It's not important.
What?
It's not important.
The second question: you can jump in a hot tub time machine and take it back to any moment in time in Major League Baseball history, and you can bear witness to this moment. What is it, and why?
I touched on this earlier. 68 World Series.
Gibby.
Yeah, Bob Gibson. Watching him pitch, especially the game where he struck out 16, 17. Yeah, I read the book on it. It's like pitch by pitch. I guess he watched
really?
the game and like wrote with a ghostwriter like an autobiography about that game, talking about every single
What's
pitch
the name
he
of that
threw.
book? Do you remember the
I
name
read
of that
it.
book?
I read it in like 2014.
Because I don't read shit like without pictures. I'd read that.
You don't need. Yeah, there are pictures in it.
I'm
There's
fucking
like
in.
there's a whole like section of photos that you can always turn to.
Done.
I want to say it's called Pitch by Pitch. That's just off the top of my head, but we have the internet, so we can look it up in like 2
figure that out.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never gotten that answer.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just
He's
because
got his guy.
It's just
Yeah.
because I read the book. That's
Yeah.
why.
No, still.
And
Well,
it was
so it puts
super
you there,
interesting.
clearly well written.
Yeah, super interesting. It kind of goes to show like his memory about that as well, because he was going into detail. I don't think he was just making all this shit up.
Right.
No.
Yeah, so that would be really
awesome.
cool. Yeah,
Inside
absolutely.
the mind
Read
of
that
Bob
book.
Gibson is probably a scary place to be.
What's that?
I said inside the mind of Bob Gibson is probably a scary place to be.
A whole lot of fuck you going on. In
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I love every minute of it.
Mean dude.
Every
Mean
minute
dude.
of it.
Lucas Giolito, Chicago White Sox. Best of luck to you this season,
Thank
sir.
you.
We really appreciate the
Appreciate it.
conversation. I am going to come to Chicago. We're going to do the hair video.
All right, for sure.
That is happening.
All
Done
right.
deal.
So
No
to be
problem.
continued.
Slice
Yeah.
and dice, big boy.
Sounds good.
Right on.
Sounds good.